Hi YouTube. Today I'm going to show you a really quick and easy way of creating a fake marble top. Today I'm going to show you on this very small piece of furniture, just a small table that I'm doing for my nan. I've given the whole piece a complete rub down, and then I've actually just painted it with an emulsion. It's a Valspar emulsion. I have got a video on here previously that tells you all about Valspar paint. So it's had a few coats over it. The top has been completely rubbed down and painted, and now it's ready to put your fake marble effect on top. Believe me, I am no artist. I can't, I mean, the closest I get to drawing is a stick man, and I found this quite easy to do. You can do it the other way and do a dark base and white lines. I think if it's the first time you're going to try it, then I would definitely suggest doing it with the lighter base and then the darker lines. So you'll need a paintbrush, a larger paintbrush. You'll need a dark grey or a black or even a dark brown, anything that's just darker than what's on here. And then you'll need the actual colour of what you put on top. And then you'll need a lighter shade of grey or brown. If you haven't got a third pot, then you can just, in a separate bowl, mix these two, so your lighter and your darker, just to make that lighter shade. But I've got so many tester pots, I'm going to use this lighter shade of grey. And then you'll just need a couple of smaller, like artist brushes. Now these aren't very expensive, they're like, you know, like the kids painting brush sets you get. And what you want to do is get the smaller one, and you also need a glass of water on standby, and there is a reason for that. Now you want to get the darker colour, the darker grey, and you just want to do a line. Now try not to be too straight with your line or too wiggly, and just literally go right the way across the front. Now I have done this with a feather, but it didn't turn out so well for me, so I'm going to just show you how I do it with a paintbrush. I think the thing to remember with marble is that it cracks the same way. So you wouldn't have like a line going this way, it would all be the same way. So I think I'm just going to do that one there, and this one sort of there. And the other thing to remember is to go around the sides. So when you're looking at it from the side on, you've got the same lines there. And then what I'm going to do is just go over the end bits and then tail off onto a different, like that, like a different little bit. You could just do like a little fleck there, and don't worry if it looks really bold at the moment, because we're going to dull all that down soon. Okay, so once you're sort of pleased with how many lines you've got on it, I put some, clean off your brush, and then I'm going to grab some of the light grey, or you know, whatever colour you've mixed to go over with a lighter colour, but not this white colour, this is the lighter grey. And then you just kind of want to go over that line again. I don't know if you noticed, but I actually dip my brush in the water and then I put the paint on it, and that just gives it more of a watery effect. So it's not a complete solid colour you're putting on top. And again, you haven't got to do it exactly. You just sort of go in near the lines that you've done. And then what you can do, like here, is this is where I've done the dark, and then you can just go off with a little bit of the light as well. And when you're doing it, just sort of try and do some thinner lines and some thicker lines. I'm making sure I go around these sides, and then what I'll do is I'll stand this up in a minute and I'll do the lines underneath. but it's quite hard at this angle. And then again, you can grab some of the dark and maybe go over some of the lines with the dark, so it starts getting that natural broken effect. I'm quite pleased with that. Now what I would do now is get your other paintbrush that's got no paint on it, and then with some water, and it's going to be quite hard for me because I'm at an angle, but I do usually do it when it's standing flat, is just put some water on those lines to really soften them down. Because if you actually look at like marble, the lines almost look diluted themselves. So you just want to get some water, and then maybe like that one where it stops there, just drag it with some water, because you will see those lines. And you can add to it as much as you want. And if you think, oh, I've made a mistake, you know, you've got your colour, your top colour here, so you can just think, oh, you know, I'd say, I don't know, or I don't like this bit down here. Well, you can just colour it in the top colour that you've got. So there really is no right and wrong, and that's the beauty of marble, is that no two pieces will be the same anyway, so you can't really go wrong or right. So let's just go over this again. So I'm going to grab just someone with just some water on it. This is a slightly smaller brush. And again, I'm just going to brush on some water. This helps just to drag it all out and dilute it. Okay, I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm going to leave this to dry. And then, you know, once it's dry, you might think, oh, I want to add some more lines, or I want to take some away. I would leave it to dry, and then I'll show you how we finish it. If I just show you up close what that looks like. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to add the little lines that would come down here. So I'm going to finish these off quickly, leave it to dry, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how we finish the whole piece. So now I've left the tabletop to dry for just over an hour. It's really, really dry. You will need this colour that you've got underneath, the white colour or the off-white, whatever you choose to do. You can do this in a separate bowl, but because I'm using a tester pot, I'm actually just going to use the lid. And you want to grab some of the white or the lighter colour that's the underneath colour. And you kind of want to do sort of half and half. So you want to do half paint, half water. It doesn't matter if it's quite thin, because you can build up the lighter colour on top. What you don't want to do is do it too dark and then cover over your pattern. So I'm going to make this quite runny. Not quite sure how this is going to work, because this table's at a strange angle, and obviously when you'd usually be painting it, it would be sat upright, but we'll give it a go anyway. So this is just my watered down paint, sort of half paint, half water, maybe just a little bit more water, and then you just want to paint that over the top of the sort of the lines of the marble that you've done. And then what this will do is it will just really, really soften it all, because once you've left that drying for about an hour and you come back and you're like, oh, those lines look really, really dark and doesn't look like marble, and then as soon as you put this over the top, you think, oh, okay, I can see what she was going on about. This does work. And then don't forget the front and the sides where you've gone around with the pattern. Hope you can pick this up and move it a little bit closer. And then you think, oh, okay, well, maybe I want to make it a little bit darker still, a little bit lighter still. So then you can just add a little bit more of the white emulsion, or whatever paint you're using. You could do this with chalk paint, emulsion, whatever you prefer to use when you paint your furniture. But I'm just using an emulsion. I think this one's actually a silk emulsion. The base, like the bottom of the table, I've done in a matte emulsion, but this is just a silk emulsion. And you can see that the lines now are really starting to disappear. And then once this dries, the lines will be a little bit more prominent anyway, so you can go over it as many times as you like. But what I would say is just make sure you start with a thin coat first, and then you can slowly build up the lighter colour on top. I'm quite pleased with that. So you can hopefully see, if I lift this up, that just putting that watered down light coat on top has made that now really look like a marble effect. And again, like I said, don't forget to go around the sides because that's really important. I'm really quite pleased with that. I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then I might just go over it again if, you know, I'll see if it needs to go over again to make it look a little bit more, no, do you know what, I'm quite pleased with that. I think that'll be fine like that. I left the table to dry, and I actually ended up going over the top with another coat of the lighter mixed with the water, and now I think I'm really pleased with that. Don't forget to seal your furniture with a water-based or whatever sort of varnish that you like. I do have one that I favour, which is Polyvine. There is another video on here that tells you all about Polyvine and why I like it. But yeah, just don't forget to seal it because you won't want to chip all your hard work. I hope you've been able to follow this video, and I'm really hoping that you'll have a go at home. Any questions, please, as always, put them in the comments below. You can always follow me on Facebook, which is BamTilly Interiors. I'm also on Instagram, so come follow me on Instagram. Again, it's just BamTilly. And if you want more videos, please subscribe. And you know, if there's anything you want to know, suggestions for new videos, please put them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, as always.